Anyone who tells you nuclear energy is safe, they're dead wrong. Nuclear energy is dangerous, so dangerous as a matter of fact, it threatens our everyday lives. There are too many variables to control the containment of the reactor and containment of the waste. Fukushima and Chernobyl have been prime examples of why nuclear energy is dangerous and arguably are the worst disasters in nuclear history, Fukushima being the worst. Let us compare and contrast so you can grasp the severity of the Fukushima radioactive incident. There's a 19-mile no zone around Chernobyl that is uninhabitable. No one really knows when Chernobyl will be clear enough to inhabit, but some practical or radical estimations suggest 50,000 years. Chernobyl affected a lot of Ukraine, even some parts of Russian territory, poisoning the soil and the life in the area, making the soil unusable. Fukushima, however, is much different. Nuclear waste has entered the sea and contaminated it far worse than what scientists are saying because the government is monitoring what they say. The governments of the world have lied. Mass contamination of soil, water, and air is on our doorstep that will result in the single biggest global catastrophe. What is predicted is a worldwide contamination that will result in mass number of deaths and the quarantine of the entire Pacific Ocean. The pictures illustrated should give you a pretty good idea of the severity of the situation that is really occurring. You have radioactive materials moving across the Pacific Ocean. You have mass number of the area around the reactor is being evacuated, and a vast area around the reactor has been contaminated. This is why nuclear energy should never be used again. We should shut down all the reactors in the entire world and never touch them again. It is too dangerous to keep operating them, and the risks that we run to the continued use of the reactor is just stupid. It's complete anarchy. But there is a solution. There's a debate over whether our core is a nuclear reactor or if it's a solid core. From my research, I have determined that it is a naturally occurring fusion reactor. Now, what does this have to do with anything? Geothermal is the solution to our energy crisis, not nuclear energy. Fusion is when atoms are heated to the point where they smash into each other and combine to form a new substance, like hydrogen atoms fuse with helium atoms, and so on. This unlimited power at the core of our Earth, it's unthinkable how much energy we could harness from it and how much more energy we could get from it than nuclear energy. And also, it's safer, it's clean, there are no emissions at all. It's candy. It's pretty much candy. I mean, it outweighs all the benefits of nuclear energy by far. Um, our core, the suggestion that I made essentially leads to a fact that our core is essentially a failed sun. How do we know this? An instrument that is designed to detect neutrinos, which are particles that interact via weak nuclear force from the sun, detected them from the core of our planet. Now, this tells us that our planet and the sun are in common in the sense that they both use nuclear fusion to create heat, to keep to produce heat. If you drill a hole approximately 30,000 feet into the core, into our Earth, you would be presented with 50,000 times more energy than the oil and natural gas on our planet, which you wouldn't need to drill that deep to get energy, but I mean, it's just saying that there's more energy invested in our core than in nuclear energy, and the energy is unlimited. Geothermal energy is the solution to our energy crisis. Let me explain geothermal briefly. First, a pump pushes H2O into the Earth's crust to be heated, and once it's heated, the H2O vapor is pushed to the surface to power a steam turbine, which in turn creates electricity. Lastly, the steam is channeled to a condenser and is condensed back into H2O. There are no risks of using this technique to create energy. It is completely clean, and once again I say that it outweighs all the benefits of using nuclear energy and has none of the negatives. We will never run out of this energy source either.